Yes, you. Thanks for tuning in to the Healthy, Wild, and Free podcast. My name is David Benjamin. I'm your host and the founder of HealthyWildAndFree.com. If you're like me, you understand that health, the mind, body, spirit, heart connection, and living a green, eco-friendly, sustainable lifestyle are some of the most valuable and life-enhancing lessons that we can learn and pass on to our children to live happy and abundant lives. That's why this podcast was created, to help you grow in these areas. If you aren't already subscribed to the newsletter, go to HealthyWildAndFree.com, click the box at the top right-hand corner to get a free copy of our latest ebook, and you will be subscribed to be notified about future podcasts. Thanks for subscribing and tuning in. Enjoy. Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Benjamin from HealthyWildAndFree.com. Today we have an awesome guest. I'm excited to bring him on the show because he's doing work that truly aligns with everything kind of that I'm doing online as far as kind of health and wellness, helping people find different kind of like healing solutions, and really just kind of helping the planet as a whole in that kind of way. And he's doing it through film. And what's cool about what he does is that it's very, very unique, very targeted kind of to specific ailments, specific diseases, specific things like that. So today on the show, we are going to have Nick Polizzi as a guest. And he spent his career directing and editing feature-length documentaries about holistic alternatives to conventional medicine. Early on, Nick directed The Tapping Solution, which we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then he also co-edited Simply Raw, Raw for 30 Days, which is a film about reversing diabetes in 30 days. It's a great film. And his current role as a producer of The Sacred Science stems from a calling to honor, preserve, and protect the ancient knowledge and rituals of the indigenous peoples of the world in the Amazon rainforest. And like I said, I mean, this guy is just truly someone who is really living the change that he wants in the world. He's not just talking about it. He's not just, kind of out there preaching and telling people like, hey, this is what you should do. He's one living it, and he's, sharing all this information on so many levels through film, and the films are amazing. So let me bring him on the call real quick. And in the meantime, sorry, this is going to take just a second. In the meantime, make sure to go to HealthyWildAndFree.com and click the box at the top right-hand corner of the page. It's a big box, and it says, your supplements suck. I hope they don't, but they actually must, because there's a lot of supplements on the market that are they have a lot of fillers, a lot of preservatives, are made from gelatin, or they have magnesium stearate, or just kind of fillers that dilute the potency and purity of the actual supplement. The supplement world has kind of become like the food world to some degree in that kind of sense. It's basically a big, huge range in quality, and just different, lower quality supplements is kind of the majority, and then the higher quality supplements are kind of more rare and hard to find, and more difficult to find overall. So basically, this ebook on HealthyWildAndFree.com just kind of goes through some of the basics to help you understand where you're at as far as your supplement quality and what you're taking currently, and then it kind of helps to gauge the quality of what you're taking so that you can find higher quality supplements for yourself. So I'm going to bring him on the call right now, and we'll get the interview started. Hey, Nick, are you there?
Yeah, it's me.
Hey, good to have you on the call. I appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely good to be here.
I wanted to start the interview and asking you a question that I really ask all of the guests that I have on the podcast. And that question is, how did you kind of initially get into health and wellness as an interest or passion of yours?
It came to me in the form of an illness. I had pretty bad migraines in my early 20s, into my late 20s, and I tried all kinds of things, including conventional pharmaceuticals to combat the symptoms of it. And I was seeing a really, really great neurologist in the Danbury area. He's like one of the highest regarded neurologists in Connecticut. And he said, "Hey, listen, you know, the medications that we have you on, I think I was taking something called Fioricet and something else once the migraine came on to combat the pain." He said, "Hey, this is starting to wear off, and this isn't working for you anymore. We'll need to put you on preventative drugs, which will probably change your mood substantially, but they will probably also make the migraines go away." And that's kind of where I drew the line and said, "I'm not doing that." And I started looking into other possibilities, and that led me to traditional medicine.
Traditional medicine, what exactly? What was the...
The first modality I started working with was EFT. Are you familiar with EFT?
Okay. Yeah. But for our listeners, I just want to hear about that.
Yeah. So I started working with EFT, and that honestly was what nailed it. I was lucky enough to be working with some really, really good practitioners. As I started working with that, I also had the opportunity to direct the film of the tapping solution, which was really great. But, you know, during the course of all that, I worked on my migraines quite a bit. And it all really came down to some early childhood trauma that I never would have guessed was linked to it. But once that was cleared and confronted, then the migraines went away.
Okay. So what is, for someone that kind of doesn't really fully understand EFT, what is that? What is EFT? What does it look like, I guess?
EFT it's a combination of Chinese medicine and conventional psychotherapy. So what you're doing is stimulating your body's meridian points. If you're familiar with acupuncture, acupressure, these are the same points. You have hundreds of them all over your body, and you stimulate them by tapping on them. The ones particularly in your face and upper torso, while you're also going through traumatic events and possible linked emotions to whatever you're trying to work through. So if you're working with pain, a good practitioner is going to try to ask a series of questions that lead you to some deeper answers on what might be contributing to that pain. This is all happening while you're tapping on different meridian points in your body.
Okay. So who can kind of benefit from EFT? Is it specific to kind of trauma, or is it kind of beyond that too?
It's being used for all kinds of things. You know, it's great for pain relief. It's great for PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. People are using it for, honestly, every kind of illness and disease, because it's believed that when your body can relax and no longer be in fight or flight, your body's natural ability to heal itself is enhanced. So it can only help you. I mean, you know, I think it's for anybody. If you're somebody who is nervous or scared about anything, which is pretty much all of us, then it's a great way to get past fear. It's a great way to kind of reverse wire fear. You know, if you have a big speech to make and you're getting jittery about that, this is a great way to kind of get behind your thought process and understand why you're afraid, and sort of soothe yourself so that you're much more peaceful about what's going on. So it's a great way to bring peace to your body. It's a de-stressor, and you know, the more we look at stress, the more we realize that stress is linked to a number of major diseases. So in that sense, it's a great tool.
Interesting. I hadn't heard that EFT was kind of being used for, I guess, before speech or before kind of a stressful event, but that does make a lot of sense since it's working with the meridian points. And so it's kind of an emotional balancing tool that you can kind of use to use before things that could be, you know, have a lot of pressure and that kind of thing too. Very cool.
Yeah, it's a great all-around tool. It really is. It's I use it. My buddies use it. We all professional athletes starting to use it. It's funny. You'll see now that if you watch the movie The Sacred Sign, or sorry, The Tapping Solution, and you see the protocol, then you start recognizing it when you watch like professional sports. People do it, on the sidelines
Really?
when they're, yeah.
Interesting.
So
I'm gonna watch more closely now.
Yeah.
I actually, out of the 3 movies, I haven't seen The Tapping Solution yet, so I'm gonna have to see that one. Within The Tapping Solution, do you actually is there an area where you kind of walk people through as to how to kind of get started with EFT and tapping?
Yep. There's a total. Not only do we do it in the movie, but there's also, if you buy the DVD, there's a cool little insert that I think is really fun and clever. That just kind of takes you through the different points and gives you a general kickstarter. It's sort of a quick start kind of a thing.
Very cool. I forgot to ask you. I was going to ask you early in the interview. How did you initially get into film? Was that just kind of a passion of yours, or what?
I fell into film. It was very weird. I used to be a real estate investor. I went to school for graphic design. Decided that was not for me within the first year or 2 of being out of college, like so many people do when they get out of college. I've always been good with business, so I started just kind of ponying up my own cash and buying properties that were dilapidated and fixing them up. While I was doing that, I was a few friends of mine were going to come together and make the Tapping Solution movie. And they didn't know what they were doing. They knew they wanted to make it. And oddly enough, I, with my little graphic design degree, was the most creative person they knew. So they came to me. They're like, hey, how do we go about making a documentary? I'm like, I have no idea. And they're like, but you went to design school. I'm like, do you have any idea what design school is? Like, this is like
funny.
designing. We learn how to design websites and logos and things like that. I mean, I have no clue how to operate a camera. So,
right.
And I'm like, I did take some studio photography classes in college. See, so you know something about photography, and I'm like, well, let's have lunch, let's talk about it. And so it's great. It's really weird. One thing led to the other, and I'd already had this crazy experience with tapping that had cured my migraine. So I was already kind of warm to the idea of a film being made about EFT. And so we kind of talked about it, and I sort of decided to take it on as a side thing while I continued doing my investing stuff, and then I just fell in love with the process, and I've always been a huge fan of documentaries anyway, and I just basically ended up taking over the entire production of the film and directing it, and that was how I started.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of documentaries as well. I think there's a future when it comes to education because it's the laziest way to consume information, and you're visually, every sense is kind of stimulated, and it's like, it's just, I really do think it is the future of education. Totally. My friend Nick Meyer from healthworks.com told me that you got struck by lightning, so I was kind of curious about that. I'm just curious, what happened?
That's really funny. I did get struck by lightning. I'm starting to wonder if I should continue to tell everyone this story, but yeah, I did. When I was 16, I was struck by lightning. I was playing basketball. It's not like one of those on the mountaintop having this kind of cathartic experience and then you get hit by lightning. It was definitely much less glamorous than that. I was 16. I was playing basketball in my driveway, and it was pouring out. And I used to for some reason, I used to play basketball in the rain. And I don't remember exactly what was going on, but I was going up for a layup, and I was all by myself. And then there was just a big, huge boom, and the thing went bright, and I kind of came to. I don't know if I was knocked unconscious or just stunned, but I came to on the ground, and not being able to hear very well. And then I just kind of walked into the house or stumbled into the house and didn't tell anybody about it. I don't want my parents to know about it. But my dad got home from work, we had a big oak tree next to our basketball hoop, and that thing was split in half down the middle. So he was like, what happened? Oh, my God, did you see this? And I'm like, no, I have no idea what it is. That's crazy. I can't believe most of that's lightning. So I just totally covered it up, never talked about it until I got more into traditional medicine. I started hearing people talk about the phenomenon of being hit by lightning and, what can come along with that. So, yeah, I did. I was hit by lightning, and it definitely did have a serious effect on my psyche and also my ability to perceive faux energy. That was when I started kind of having some very interesting out-of-body type experiences.
Huh. Very interesting. I was hoping you were going to say you got struck by lightning, and then all of a sudden you were wearing Adidas before, and then afterwards you were wearing Jordans, and then you were inspired to jump into the film industry and create White Men Can Jump, and then Woody Harrelson came on board, and then it was like a Hell's Basketball White Men Can Jump movie. But that didn't happen.
That would be amazing. I wish it gave me some sort of an